down by 2.44% and up 0.58% in the after hours on 27th September, NIO is trying its best to stay strong in these bearish times. So sit tight as we analyze today's news as well as chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for regular stock market updates. First up, NIO has purchased a 12% share of Greenwing Resources in an attempt to compete with Tesla's new developments. Greenwing is a lithium mining company based in Australia founded in 2004, having rights over most of the world's lithium projects. This has given a boost to Greenwing Resources stock as well, going up by 43% in the past 5 days. Apart from this, NIO has estimated that they'll sell 300,000 cars in 2023 with full expansion into the European region. This will allow the company to win over a bigger market share, resulting in better financials and fundamentals. But considering that the 2020 rally took the entire market into an overvalued zone, the true value of most EV stocks is still not that clear. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 1-day chart for NIO, and first we'll analyze the 1-day chart as always, and then we'll get into the 1-hour chart, and to it off, we'll get into the 5-minute chart. But right off the bat, we can see that there's a bearish sign on the NIO chart. We are forming somewhat of a reverse cup and handle over here, right? We did see somewhat of a cup formation over here, and then we can see that, the price squeezed in over here, the range tightened, and ever since then, we did get a sharp decline over here after opening in a gap up. And right now we are in a gap down at the price of 16.89. As you guys can see right here in the watch list, NIO is the only red stock in the EV industry. Like Tesla is not that much in the red, right? Rivian is in the greens, Lucid, MULN, they're all in the greens. But NIO is 1.7% in the reds. So why exactly is this happening? Well, let's first take a look at the trend. We can see that, the trend is pretty bearish. Over here, we can see that there is still somewhat of a bearish trend going on. We will have to break this range again in order to get into a good position. But I do not believe that the stock will go up unless it beats this level of 22.93. Because as you guys already know that not exactly psychological levels. Sorry if I say. Because as you guys already know that psychological levels are not always like completely absolute in general, right? So they're not like $16, $17. They're always a few points above or below that. So if we're talking about, let's say, $20, the resistance would not exactly stand at $20. It would either be like over here, right? 20.13 or somewhere around 20.1 maybe, or somewhere around 19.8, 19.9, right? That's how those resistance and support levels work. But as we can clearly see over here on the 15th September candle, we did show some bearish movement, right? This was pretty much a reverse pin bar candle on the negative side, and that indicated a sell-off. So this was a pretty good weight, or rather a pretty good entry point for a short position. After that, we did confirm a breakdown over here that we got, two red candles and one green candle. And this pretty much was somewhat of a failed engulfing scenario, after which we obviously got a huge sell-off, and after that we can clearly see that we got into this range. Now we've gotten some more pin bar candles over here, and over here. This is pretty much a doji candle, a hammer candle. And now, as you guys can see, we're currently at the price of $17. I believe that the resistance currently stands somewhere around, let's see, maybe somewhere around over here, 17.7, 17.10, that range. So if you break that, we should be good on the intraday basis. But overall, the stock is not performing that well. And if you ask me what's going to happen, in my opinion, after looking at this sell-off, you know that already NIO has gotten some good news, but still this sell-off is happening. So I believe that the stock is really, in need of a correction right now, and even further correction. So I believe that the stock can definitely get back to its June levels over here around $12, $13. And that's, when the deliveries begin in October, November, like December, right? People actually start buying more NIO vehicles. That might be the point when the company goes up. But since it's competing head to head with Tesla and other big, EV companies, it will have to perform better in order to get a good valuation. So in my opinion, the stock will continue to go down for the next few days or weeks or months. I don't know how long, because as you guys already know that the Fed is actively hiking interest rates. But I do believe that at this point, traders are accounting for that in their trades. So I believe that it might just last only till about October end. and that's when probably we'll hit somewhere around the 16 or rather $15 range. Once that is done, I believe that we might get a reversal from over here around the 50. Wait, don't like pay attention to where I drew it, right? I still mean the $16 range. Pay attention to what I say. And once we do that, I believe that we should be headed for this range because as you guys can see, we've been making a wider opening over here. Let's see over here and over here. We can see that it's being, widened over here. It's not exactly tightening on the longer period. So that is why I believe that we might be in for some increased volatility over here in the month of October once we hit some lows over here. So I personally would give the stock a hold rating at the moment. I would not buy any more of the stock, but if you're holding a position, it's worth it to hold it in my opinion, as long as you're not in a very big loss. With that being said, let's get into the 1 hour chart to analyze some swing trades. As you guys can see right here, we're now in the 1 hour chart, and right off the bat, you guys can see that there were some important levels over here. The first one being somewhere around here, around $22 or $22.2. Then somewhere around here, $20.6, right? These levels were acting up pretty well. Then over here, we did make a double top at $18.4. Then, as you guys can see, this over here support at 17.43, and at the current level, we can see that somewhere around here, these levels are holding up pretty well. But with this big red candle, I believe that we're in for a short-term bullish, or rather a short-term bearish trend. And if we talk about some candlestick analysis as well, we can clearly see that we made a bearish pin bar candle over here. And we did get an engulfing candle as well over here, after which we got somewhat of an engulfing candle over here as well. And now I believe that we might just make another engulfing candle over here or in the next candle. So if we look at the longer picture, or rather the bigger picture over here, we can see that we did already make somewhat of a reverse cup and handle over here, after which we did go down. So that proves that the stock does abide by that pattern. So even after looking at this, my prediction remains the same that so even after looking at the 1 hour chart, my prediction for the stock remains pretty much the same, that the stock is bearish on the short term, because we can clearly see that we were facing trouble over here getting above this support, or rather resistance, $17.25, right? We did get rejected over here thrice, and now if we get rejected thrice, right, so we already got 1, 2 and 3, right, or rather 4, and after that it's not necessary that the next time that we collide with that we'll go through. More chances just say that the stock will probably get rejected again and go even further down below. But with that being said, let's analyze the 5-minute charts finally. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 5-minute chart for the stock, and right off the bat we can see that the pre-market, or rather just the beginning hours of the market, the starting hours of the market, and the ending is like pretty much volatile, right? That's how the entire market works in general. But we can clearly see that we did get a gap up over here on 27th September. That's yesterday, and after that it was pretty much a continued selling spree until over here, right? So that's like a pretty bad sign for the stock. We did take consolidation, or rather support, over here around the $17 range, of course. But then the next day, the market did not respond that well to the stock, and we did open in a gap down over here at the level of $16.77. And after that, we made a double top on the 5-minute chart over here at 17.25 again. Right, we did make a double top over here on the last day's closing as well. And then we can see that we were getting a pretty huge support over here at the $16.9 range, which is a funny number in general. After that, we can see that we did get somewhat of another double top over here, or rather not exactly a double top, but somewhere around $17.2 is a strong resistance. Now we can see that we're getting somewhat of another double top at 17.4 or $17.3, right? This particular situation does not look very good. We did squeeze on into this lower range after getting over here, right? We did squeeze on into this range. So I believe that, the trend is still bearish. Wait, why did I make that line? Let me get a trend line real quick. The trend in general just seems really bearish right now. So I believe that the stock in the short term, of course, will go to the $16 range, and then it might go up once, NIO starts getting better numbers and better financials, fundamentals, like everything like that. So with that being said, remember that I could be wrong, since this is not financial advice, it's just my own opinion. You should always do your own research before you trade. If, however, you enjoyed my video, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stox 101 for more such videos, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.